Good morning. Today we continue with Genesis chapter 41, verses 37 through 57. And as always, I encourage you to read this passage personally because it shows how quickly God can change circumstances and how faithfulness prepares us for responsibility. In verses 37 through 41, Pharaoh and his servant recognize that Joseph's counsel is wise and from God. Pharaoh says, "Can we find such a one as this is, a man whom the Spirit of God is?" Joseph is then elevated from prisoner to ruler over Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. This is a dramatic change. In a moment, Joseph moves from confinement to authority. This reminds us that when God's timing comes, what seemed delayed can quickly change. In verses 42 through 45, Pharaoh gives Joseph authority, clothing him in fine garments, placing a ring on his hand, and giving him a new name and position. Joseph is publicly recognized and entrusted with great responsibility. This is not just a promotion, it is preparation meeting opportunity. God has been shaping Joseph through hardship, and now he's ready to lead. In verses 46 through 49, Joseph begins the work. During the 7 years of abundance, he gathers and stores grain in great quantities. He does not waste the season of blessing. Instead, he prepares diligently for what is coming. This shows wisdom. Faith does not ignore the future, but prepares according to what God has revealed. In verses 50 through 52, Joseph's sons are born, and their names reflect his journey. He names one Manasseh, saying God has made him forget his toil in his father's house, and the other is Ephraim, saying God has made him fruitful in the land of his affliction. These names reveal that Joseph recognizes God's hand in both healing and blessing. Even in a foreign land, Joseph sees God at work. In verses 53 through 54, the years of abundance end and the famine begins, just as God had said. The word of God proves true. The famine affects many lands, but Egypt has provision because of preparation. In verses 55 through 57, people cry out to Pharaoh for bread, and Pharaoh directs them to Joseph. The famine spreads, and people from all lands come to Egypt to buy grain. Joseph is now in the position God intended, providing life in a time of need. This passage teaches us that God's preparation often happens in hidden season, but it leads to visible purpose. Joseph's faithfulness in difficulty positions him for influence when it matters most. This passage points us to Christ. Just as Joseph was lifted up to provide bread for the nations during famine, Jesus Christ is exalted to provide the bread of life to all who come to him. What Joseph did physically, Christ fulfills spiritually. Today, be faithful in whatever season you're in. If you are in the time of preparation, do not waste it. If you're in a time of opportunity, use it wisely. Trust that God is shaping your life for a purpose greater than what you can currently see. God bless.